Exactly.
Another Oscar reference, and I'm not talking about Pistorius.
Okay.
No.
Okay, our next daily viewpoint tonight, should you stop expecting certain things from others, even those in your immediate circle? According to the author of How Far is the Ocean from Here, the answer is yes. For instance, here's what we're talking about. Number one, stop expecting people to always say yes. They most likely have a good reason for saying no.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense. You shouldn't expect people to do what you want.
To agree immediately.
Yeah.
But I sometimes would like a very brief explanation for why they say no.
Oh,
See, I have a problem with that.
Really?
I want everyone to get along, and I always think that, well, that's the way I see it, so of course everybody should see it the way I do. See? But that's...
But you still have small children.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I can influence.
You're the boss.
Yes.
You're the boss of this
That's right.
movie.
It's
Yes.
bedtime because I say it's bedtime.
Yeah,
That's right. Okay, number two, stop expecting people to be on time. They're not going to be. This just in. If the person is typically tardy, he or she will continue to be typically tardy. So you need to stop being mad about it. Just bring a book to read while you wait.
But you know what happens when you know they're going to be late, and so you're late, they're there early. I mean, that can happen.
Serves them right.
Yeah, right.
Does tardiness bother you if someone is late to a meeting and you're on time?
No.
Chronically, yes.
Uh-huh.
But not, well, you know, a time or so.
Yeah.
You don't feel as though it's an insult to you personally because they are
They have no
discounted?
regard. My
No
time
regard.
is not as important as theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Well,
agree?
in my family, when I'm doing dinner and some of them come late, it doesn't bother me because I know they're going to be late, and I'm not expecting them to change. Maybe that's what we need to
That's
do.
it.
Don't expect anybody
Don't
to do what you want.
expect
Okay?
Lower your expectations.
Yeah,
Okay,
something.
number three, stop expecting people to bash you.
What?
Trust. Okay, this is counterintuitive.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
expect that people are going to insult you. Trust that people may actually think the best of you. Do you have a hard time with that, Midge?
No, that's a nice way to think, don't you think? I mean, you expect people to think well of you, but just
I
don't
do.
be hurt when they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
don't let it bother you and eat you up, I would think. Why should you?
Do you expect people to like you, John?
Yes.
And they do.
But I don't get upset if they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't. I
But
try
people
not to
don't
do
tell you
anything
that.
that they won't like me for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't buy friendships.
Mr. Popularity?
No, it's
Yeah.
just.
Okay.
I never
number
did anything
4.
bad to you.
Number 4, this is a tough one for me. Stop expecting people, like those in your immediate family, to like what you like.
Oh, yes.
It may not be the same. John, let me start with you. Is that tough for you when you want to...
No. Apples and oranges are different, and there's plenty of room for both in the barrel.
Yeah.
You know, I like my steak very rare. If you don't like yours very rare,
Then leave it on a little longer.
leave it on longer.
Yeah.
Like,
Midge?
who does the gardening? Does the guy mow the lawn while you do the flowers? Or do you do it all yourself? If you do it all yourself and that's the way it is, I mean, that's not a problem because, you know, this is your movie, like if you have a mate. This is your movie, I'm just in it, that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
And
I see.
we will come together at the end of the day or at some point in the day, but you don't have to do everything together unless you really like each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then
well,
you
and
do.
do you think we have different sets of expectations or standards if it's someone in our immediate circle, like a spouse,
Yeah.
versus...
Sure.
Yeah, some
Friends.
people expect their spouse to be everything to them, and that ain't gonna happen.
And to
No,
do
I
everything they
can't.
do.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's just, you shouldn't expect that. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah. Okay, here's an important one. Number 5, stop expecting people to change. So they get married and the wife says, well, he has this disgusting habit, but I'm going to change that. Is that a problem?
Oh, that is very likely not to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think women do that a lot. They, you know, they find a guy and they're going to make him fit that mold. Like, stick that foot in that shoe, even if it doesn't fit.
Be just
And
like Dad.
Yeah, it's not,
He's
it's
almost
not gonna work.
perfect, and he's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had never heard that before.
Yeah, we'll change that, yeah. You can't change people unless they're doing something really bad, and then you have an intervention and change them.
Yeah.
You
That's
try to.
Well, the old saying is, you know, I no longer recognize you, you're no longer the man I married, or the woman I married. Well, yeah, maybe there has been some change going on.
That's right, change happens. Yes, it does happen, and some of it's good.
Some is good. Can people change?
Oh, I have. Haven't you changed through the years? I've changed a
Certainly.
lot,
For
yeah.
the better?
I hope so, yeah. I used to be really bratty. I'm not as bratty now.
Oh, no, not nearly.
Thank you for saying that.
Okay, so stop it. I think it's an expectation issue.
Yeah.
Stop having such high expectations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, we're going to be right back with the daily quiz, so stay here. Current events, we're testing your knowledge. Up next.
Wiki quiz.